On this edition of The American Veteran, we'll see how VA is using video game technology to help veterans improve balance and regain quality of life. VA rolls out secure messaging, a new system to speed and simplify secure communications between patients and doctors. You'll learn about training opportunities in high-demand occupations for thousands of job-seeking veterans, and an annual tribute to fallen veterans reaches a once-in-a-million milestone. Welcome to The American Veteran, brought to you by the Department of Veterans Affairs. I'm Jonathan Kopenger, a veteran of the United States Navy. In North Little Rock, Arkansas, a study is underway to determine whether video games can help aging veterans improve balance.
When Bill Bomer steps out of his Arkansas home for a long walk to the mailbox, that stroll across the grass and down the driveway is a daily medical miracle. An Army veteran, Bomer injured his spinal cord while breaking camp in the first Gulf War. His injury grew worse over the years until a task like walking to the mailbox became impossible.
Before my surgeries, and even afterwards, balance was a big problem. I stayed in the floor about as much as I was upright.
So you lean left and right, whichever way the flag is.
But now, Bill is skiing. Well, skiing indoors on a video game system.
Just like you're skiing.
You got your whole body going.
Yes.
After 6 surgeries and years of physical therapy, Bill has finally found his favorite exercise routine to improve his balance and coordination.
Oh, this is totally different. I mean, you know, you don't concentrate on your balance walking down the hallway so much. It just kind of comes natural. But this, you have to really concentrate on it, moving and forward, back, side to side.
Are you doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
I had seen this with my kids playing around when it initially came on and felt it was very exciting, especially with the Wii Fit, with the balance board had some physical activity, so thought maybe we could try.
And with so many veterans in the healthcare system in need of activity.
Good morning, Mr. Gilbert.
Good morning.
Dr. Padala designed a study to introduce them to video games.
Oh, we are going to do the Wii Fit program that we had done the other day with the balance games. Laying around is a big problem because they are getting deconditioned by doing that, losing a lot of muscle mass because they're not using or moving their muscles around. So it is a big issue. We're going to try to put the ball in the hole.
Oh, I'm ready.
You're ready.
So that is how former Army howitzer gunner and veteran of the Korean War, Leon Gilbert, has come to twist and turn and grunt his way, all to drop a ball in the hole.
You got it.
Level 5, good gravy.
Leon is still gunning for victories, even small ones over an electronic game that is more enjoyable than routine exercises.
I'd rather do this exercise than what I just got off of this morning. You know, I'd rather do this.
Which is an important point for the doctors here at the VA Healthcare Center in North Little Rock, Arkansas. At the Geriatric Research Education and Clinical Center, they want to translate proven research down to clinical practice.
So what we're trying to do is figure out ways that we can keep people active. And the best way to keep people active is to have them engage in activity that they don't associate it with quote-unquote exercise. And the Wii is just one of those examples.
They really love it and they feel that their balance is getting better and they want to come back again for every session that we want to do. And they think it's very exciting. 1, 2, 3.
This is where progress is measured. Here, Bill Bomer, a man once nearly paralyzed, takes a balance test and shaves his time down.
7.12 is very good. So
I could tell I felt more balanced. My gait was better. Sure was.
You can do it.
Of course, other physical activities like traditional exercise and daily walking, if done consistently, can also improve balance. But there's something appealing in the game system. Skiing down a slope, dropping balls in a hole, even a little hip bumping seems to cement the connection to an exercise routine.
This is more patient-centered care, trying to do whatever works for them in their little ways. This doesn't end here. If they like it, if they're able to do it, they can buy the equipment, take it back home, be able to do it. The goal is basically to promote physical activity.
An argument that is an easy sell for Bill Bomer.
You're also having a good balance.
You work all party body one time. You're working it all. When you get up here and get level in on this, you're working your body, the whole thing. And even your brain. But I like this here. I really do.
Because Bill can make it down the slopes at VA, he can also make it out to the mailbox and back to the kitchen and live a normal life back home.
When we return, VA creates a simple and secure messaging system that connects patients with their healthcare providers. Welcome back. Finding a new career in this economic environment can be nearly impossible without the proper training. That's why VA provides 1 year of free education benefits for eligible veterans to learn a new trade, from acting to welding, in job sectors that are hungry for more workers. It's a program called Veterans Retraining Assistance Program, or VRAP, and is available on a first-come, first-served basis for a limited time only. The VA knows firsthand that veterans make exceptional employees. That's why they deployed the Veterans Retraining Assistance Program, or VRAP. VRAP is for veterans between 35 and 60 who are unemployed. You may receive up to 12 months of payments equal to $1,473 per month. Meet Michael Oxford of Fayetteville, Georgia. In 2011, Michael lost his job after complications from a stroke. He learned about VRAP and then enrolled in the Culinary Arts program at Southern Crescent Technical College.
Prior to the VRAP program, I was a production manager for a European body shop for over 30 years. So when I had my stroke and I lost my job, I knew I needed to do I could get retrained, and it seems to fit me because I think I could pick up on the process fairly. When school started, class, Jeff Bertrand had my classes to me, and it was pretty easy, just attending regular classes.
In the culinary arts, we have a wide variety of careers to choose from. It's just endless for them. The idea is to keep the cut straight.
I like to cook, and I wanted to learn the fundamentals, and we checked with the VA to make sure that it was part of their program that would be accepted.
As long as you've got your chef script going, you'll be all right.
Well, I thought since being out of school for 40 years that it would be easier for me to adapt to this than, say, a program like computers or anything like that, or medical, because of my stroke.
It's not always easy to make those changes, and it is a life change. And I sometimes think that the older we get, the fewer changes we think we have ahead of us, but there's a world of possibilities and new experiences out there. This is time consuming, but it's worth it.
At Southern Crescent, we just believe that those veterans deserve so much that every time a new veterans program or just a reissue, or even maybe just an email that says don't forget about some program, we take that seriously, and we want to be involved in providing all the kinds of support that our veterans can have. And particularly of our older veterans, many of whom served in Vietnam, then I'm especially interested that our veteran students know that there's somebody here who cares, that as long as they have needs, we're going to be here to support them and to help them be successful in every way that we can.
Yeah. He was in rehab, and I thought, well, if he went to school, he could be doing the same thing. So he asked the guy at the unemployment office, because he was collecting unemployment, and he told him about the VRAP program. So we were very excited that he could get that. It helps us. It helps us pay for his school. It helps us pay the mortgage. I mean, it's been a blessing. So we're very excited about it. We had no idea that that was out there.
The challenge has been unique. I would have never left the body shop business otherwise and gone to school to retrain to learn to do something else. So I think this was a nice wake-up call for me to further my education, which is something I advocate for my children, and it worked out well for me, and I'm very grateful for the program and all that's involved. Take advantage of the program, and if you get a chance to go to school, go. It's a lot easier than you would think. It has its moments, but the process is well worth it to get the education and to get back into school and to learn new field.
To learn more about eligibility requirements and benefits for VRAP, visit the website on your screen.
We need to use technology to reach out to patients so that they have access to information, decision support, and the ability to communicate with us using technology.
Dr. David Douglas is a pioneer and advocate in bringing secure messaging to the VA community.
In the old days, your interaction with the patient was limited to the time of the scheduled appointment, maybe to a phone call. Now that we have secure messaging, I can communicate with my patients 24/7, any time of the day or week that they contact me or I need to contact them, we have the ability to communicate.
Devin Nosbaum, a veteran of the war in Iraq, describes how secure messaging works for him.
I really like using secure messaging because I can do it whenever and wherever from my smartphone. If I'm walking down the street, if I'm in a coffee shop, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I have a thought or a question about my health or medications or almost anything, I can message my doctor right then and there. I don't have to wait for 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. I can make a phone call. How's things been going?
Very good. I'm still very grateful that you taught me how to use secure messaging on my mobile phone.
When I do see the doctor and I've already talked to him about secure messaging, or we've already exchanged messages on secure messaging, we can kind of put that issue aside and talk about the current issue that I've showed up at his office for, or whatever checkup we're doing.
The service is available to all veterans, from Devin, who grew up with the internet, to veterans who served before the electronic age, like Vietnam veteran Larry Ubel.
First met Dr. Douglas, and he introduced me to this program and asked me if I'd want to be a part of it. I said, well, yeah, I'm not a high-tech, type of person. I'm kind of old school. So and I still like that, but I found it really easy for the secure messaging, and it's been great for me as far as being able to contact Dr. Douglas during some times that I needed maybe just to talk to somebody.
Stay in touch through secure messaging.
You bet, you bet. Thanks.
What the process of secure messaging can do for the patient is it just takes a lot of stress out of having to leave their home, maybe if they're disabled or don't like being out, or it's hard to get to the VA through buses or taxis or something like that, having to arrange a ride. It makes it a lot easier to interact with your doctor wherever and whenever from your home or from your smartphone.
There are over 500,000 vets using My Healthy Vet to communicate with their doctors. Dr. Douglas's goal is to have all veterans using the program.
To veterans and also to my physician colleagues, I would say jump in. The water's fine. You'll be very happy that you did. Secure messaging is a huge improvement over 20th century communication medium. It's more efficient for us, it's more efficient for the patient, and it'll make you do a much better job of providing care for our veterans.
When we return, a profile of Team Rubicon, a veteran service organization that stands ready to deploy emergency response teams into crisis situations.
We rolled into Port-au-Prince in the back of pickup trucks. As we got closer and closer to the city and then to the city center, the masses of people that were trying to move away from Port-au-Prince to go find something that was less chaotic just increased, and we were going in the opposite direction. We were going into the heart of it. It just incrementally got worse and worse. You know, you started to see on the outskirts of the city some of the destruction. Then you got closer and you saw entire buildings collapsed, and then you started to smell. You know, to be quite honest, it was the same sights and smells that we had heard going through Fallujah or going through Baghdad or Afghanistan. My name is Jake Wood. I'm president and co-founder of Team Rubicon. One morning I woke up and I saw on the news what was going on in Port-au-Prince, and for a couple hours I just sat there and watched the television screen because the images that were coming back were so horrific and mind-blowing. And you know, after a little while of doing that, I decided that it was an opportunity to go down there and help. I put out a Facebook post and asked who wanted to join me to go down to Port-au-Prince, and literally a few minutes later, William McNulty gave me a call and said that he wanted to go. And you know, Team Rubicon was really born right then and there.
We put together a team of military veterans and medical professionals. We basically paired Marines with doctors, and we sent them into the hardest hit areas of Port-au-Prince and did medical triage.
You know, for a veteran like William or I, you know, we have a lot more to offer than $10. And we had skill sets that a lot of the volunteers at the Red Cross, a lot of the volunteers at the International Medical Corps didn't have. And we thought that our greatest asset, our greatest resource that we could provide was, you know, ourselves.
We're this flexible and dynamic, rapidly expanding, veteran-focused organization that pretty much have taken the helm on responding to disasters and using our former service members as our core of volunteers that we can call upon, and that's kind of where we're at now, 2.5 years into the organization.
Team Rubicon is different than other aid organizations because it's focused on the veteran. It's focused on giving that self-worth and that purpose and that community back to the veteran. So we're incorporating a lot of the same things that we learned, tactics, procedures that we learned in the military, but we're applying it to disaster response now.
We've been to Haiti, Burma, Pakistan, Chile. We recently have started responding to domestic disasters. Most notably were the tornadoes in the Midwest and a hurricane on the East Coast. Our deployments have been into pretty bad disasters. The sights, the smells, the devastation, the looks in people's eyes knowing that they've potentially lost everything or they have lost everything. The ability to approach a situation with a bit of tenderness even though you're there for a very specific mission. There's a lot of similarities that make us the best people to send into an area like that.
I can't thank you all enough.
No, you're very welcome.
There is no words to say.
You know, you hear so much bad on television, but through this we've seen so much good.
My name's Kevin Heslin, and I'm a research health scientist with the VA Emergency Management Evaluation Center. We are part of the Office of Public Health in the VA, and my colleagues and I are interested in eventually doing a large-scale, sort of long-term study with Team Rubicon so that we can really try to track the mental health benefits of volunteer work on veterans.
The VA approached us about a study they wanted to do regarding the efficacy of a program such as ours for actual therapeutic, measurable results. Could our program, could our volunteer organization that is repurposing veterans' skills in disaster relief actually measurably have an answer?
The VA has a huge focus on reintegration into civilian society, and how can we help veterans to do that better. So the idea that this kind of emergency management volunteer work would contribute to that is very exciting.
With the VA, we're really hoping that we can conduct a formal study that proves that the idea of continued service is something that is beneficial to the veteran and to their transition and to their reintegration into civil society.
Over the last 10 years, it's been very hard for veterans to identify progress. But when you're either saving the life of a child in Port-au-Prince after the earthquake, or whether you're tarping someone's roof in Joplin after a tornado, progress is immediately identifiable, and that's of extreme value to the veteran.
The difference between going on a mission with Team Rubicon versus the experiences that volunteer might have had in uniform, you know, you're going into a similar environment, but the entire feeling is different. You're not going in there fearing for your life. You're not going in there with a mission that you may be uncomfortable with. You're going there to help people. And I think for the veterans who get involved, that's incredibly therapeutic to know that you're needed and you're wanted, and your only mission in life is to go improve the lives of people whose lives have been devastated. It's really cathartic for the veteran.
There is the hope when you fill out our application that one day you will receive a phone call from me saying, we need you to fly to Africa for this mission. Are you available? And I think that is a very powerful feeling of hope for a lot of people. You know, a lot of people who lost their mission, I think that sense of purpose, that sense of reusing their experience is important and it's powerful, and that's what we do.
Fresh evergreens are a symbol used for centuries to recognize honor, and a living tribute renewed annually. Every year, Wreaths Across America coordinates with local volunteers to place remembrance wreaths on the headstones of veterans in all 50 states and in our nation's capital.
In just over 2 decades, it has become an established seasonal tradition. Trucks arriving at Arlington National Cemetery bearing thousands of memorial wreaths for an event of honor and remembrance.
Section 25 is right at the corner.
More than 20,000 volunteers have come to lay memorial wreaths across the entire expanse of the cemetery. One group, the Maryland wing of the Civil Air Patrol, sends an honor guard to the event each year. Cadet Captain Michael DiMercurio is leading the unit this year.
When you're here honoring these veterans, these soldiers who have died for the United States, it's an incredible honor to be able to come here in uniform and do them a service that they truly deserve.
2012 marks the 21st consecutive year of this event. And in Arlington Section 60, a place where servicemen from America's most recent conflicts are laid to rest, a solemn ceremony unfolds. The project's 1 millionth wreath is laid by the current president of the American Gold Star Mothers, Mary Byers.
It's heartening to see the patriotism that our country still has, and we don't see that every day.
Some here will place wreaths alongside headstones of veterans they may know little about. Others come with a more personal connection. Here, Major General Charles Carr, National Commander of the Civil Air Patrol, honors the memory of his predecessor, legendary Army and Air Force General Hap Arnold.
And I certainly hope that we are living up to his dreams, in which he had high hopes for when we got started.
These cadets would undoubtedly make him proud.
No, we got 2 more after these.
But they themselves were inspired to see the civilian support at this event.
And I love how many people besides Civil Air Patrol come out to support this event, to support our fallen troops.
The ceremonies at Arlington were part of a larger effort by the group Wreaths Across America. 20 years ago, that project began right here. Today, it has inspired similar ceremonies in all 50 states and at hundreds of sites overseas.
That concludes this edition of The American Veteran. The Department of Veterans Affairs is honored to bring you this program. If you'd like to get in touch or obtain more information about VA benefits and services, you can call us, visit our website, or contact your nearest vet center.